It's Oscar season, and that means it's time to rank all 8 Best Picture nominees from the worst to the best. Keep in mind that this list is subjective, there is no objective worst or best. Also, it's important to keep in mind that all of these films have good qualities. They wouldn't be nominated for awards if they didn't. Even the ones lower down on the list have good aspects. Without further delay, let's go ahead and get started. Coming in last place is going to be Nomad Land. Nomad Land features some very well thought out direction from Chloe Zhao. I can't wait to see how she handles Eternals. Frances McDormand's performance is awe-inspiring. Of course it is, it's Frances McDormand. However, this movie should have been a documentary. The only 2 professional actors in the film were McDormand and David Strathairn. Everyone else was a real nomad. There are numerous scenes of real nomads explaining how their lifestyle works and why they prefer it. I think that the movie would have been better if Chloe Zhao interviewed real nomads on camera and then assembled the interviews into a documentary. At number 7 is Mank. This movie is a really interesting look at Herman Mankiewicz's rise to stardom in Hollywood, his personal life, and the journey that he went on as he wrote Citizen Kane. David Fincher perfectly captures the tone and aesthetic of a 1940s movie and also the vibe of the entertainment industry at the time. However, I feel that the movie may alienate people who are not aware of the backstory and controversy behind Citizen Kane, as well as the real-life people and incidents that influenced it. It also is by no means a plot-driven movie, with there not really being a strong sense of causation or correlation between the individual plot lines and scenes. At number 6 is The Father. This movie features some great performances from Anthony Hopkins, Olivia Colman, and Olivia Williams. This movie starts out very strong. The protagonist's downfall into dementia is done in an interesting and unique way. However, the middle of the movie does get a little bit repetitive. It feels like the same scene structure plays out several times. That being said, the ending of the movie completely broke me. It made me feel something that a movie's never really made me feel before. I won't spoil what happens, but it's truly profound. At number 5 is Judas and the Black Messiah. This movie features 2 of my favorite performances this year from Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield. Each character's psychology, ideology, and motivation is perfectly captured in these portrayals. The internal conflict that Bill O'Neill develops as he goes along this journey is perfectly captured, and the sense of tension that keeps on building from the very first scene of the movie until the climax kept me on the edge of my seat throughout this entire film. That being said, the thing that holds this movie back is that it doesn't really have anything to say that most other prestige movies haven't already said. Its perspective on the culture war of the 1960s is exactly what you'd expect from a Hollywood movie. At number 4 is Minari. Lee Isaac Chung delivers an excellent look at Korean American life in the 1960s. The performances are solid, especially from Stephen Young and Ye Jung-yoon. That being said, there are a few flaws. Similar to Judas, this movie addresses a lot of ideas that are not necessarily cliche for prestige movies, but definitely standard. I don't feel like the movie's perspective on immigrant life is any different than any other prestige movie's perspective on immigrant life. Also, there are some tonal issues. While the movie balances comedy and drama very well, some of the character interactions feel off. For example, Will Patton's character feels like he's in a completely different movie. At number 3 is The Trial of the Chicago 7. Aaron Sorkin's rapid-fire, fast-paced dialogue fantastically tells the story of a real-life corrupt trial. Each member of the ensemble has a moment in the spotlight, and each character has a distinct personality. It manages to balance many different plot lines and characters very well, and has a nice moment of emotional catharsis toward the end. At number 2 is Promising Young Woman. Walking out of this movie, I was just happy that a movie with this tone and feel got prestige success. It's not quite comic booky, but it is ever so slightly heightened and really works. Like with most Oscar-nominated movies, the performances are great. They fit the stylized tone of the film, while also feeling somewhat grounded. Emerald Fennell's writing and directing is surprisingly confident for an amateur filmmaker, and the production design is very distinct and memorable. The movie's climax manages to be pessimistically funny, while also suspenseful and thought-provoking. But at number 1 is going to be Sound of Metal. Sound of Metal is an excellent look at what happens when the foundations of a person's life are completely shattered. The performances from Riz Ahmed, Olivia Cooke, and Paul Raci are phenomenal, as is the directing from Darius Marder and the script from Darius and Abraham Marder. This movie excels on a technical level with the sound design and sound mixing mimicking that of a deaf person. Overall, Sound of Metal is a very thoughtful depiction of how people react to unexpected situations and how those situations shape who we are. So that's it, that's my ranking. Tell me y'all's ranking down in the comments below. At the time that I'm filming this, we still have a few days before the ceremony, so I don't know which movies are gonna win. I just hope that whichever movie wins each category is well deserving. If you want to see other ranking videos I've done, here's a link to the playlist. As always, thank you guys very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Bye.